Welcome to Arise United Devils. In today's news, Manchester United squad versus Bayern Munich as Ten Hag suffers another injury. Mason Mount and Raphael Varane have not travelled with the Manchester United squad for their Champions League group stage opener against Bayern Munich. Mount and Varane were involved in a team training session at Carrington on Tuesday morning after spending the last few weeks on the sidelines, but both were not deemed ready to travel with their teammates to Munich. Varane has been out for 3.5 weeks with an unspecified injury, while Mount has missed the last 3 matches with a muscular injury. Their absences, coupled with other injury issues, have meant that boss Erik Ten Hag has been forced to shuffle his pack in recent weeks. Hannibal was included within the 23-man squad that trained on Tuesday morning, as were fellow youngsters Radek Vitek, Ethan Williams, Gore and Omari Forson. Sofian Amrabat and Kobbie Mainoo trained separately from the United squad and are still unavailable. Luke Shaw, Tyrell Malacia and Aaron Wan-Bissaka are also injured. Harry Maguire was also confirmed as a fresh injury by United and misses the trip. Rasmus Højlund is likely to start his second game running for United, having come off after 64 minutes on his full debut against Brighton on Saturday. Manager Erik Ten Hag's decision to remove Højlund was booed loudly by supporters, but Ten Hag insisted Højlund was not fit enough to complete a full match. The list of United travelling squad versus Bayern Munich includes 1. Goalkeepers: Andre Onana, Altay Bayindir, Tom Heaton, Radek Vitek. 2. Defenders: Victor Lindelof, Lisandro Martinez, Sergio Reguilon, Diogo Dalot, Johnny Evans. 3. Midfielders: Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen, Casemiro, Facundo Pellistri, Scott McTominay, Gore, Hannibal Mejbri. 4. Forwards: Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Rasmus Højlund, Alejandro Garnacho and Omari Forson. In similar developments, Manchester United manager Ten Hag makes admission about Rasmus Højlund and Marcus Rashford partnership. Manchester United manager Erik Ten Hag is encouraged by the connection between Marcus Rashford and new striker Rasmus Højlund. The £72 million signing Højlund made his full debut in the Premier League defeat to Brighton on Saturday with Rashford on the left-hand side. With Rashford tied down on a new 5-year contract and Højlund under contract for the same length of time, the duo are United's prime attacking threats for the foreseeable future. Højlund could be seen urging Rashford to cross for him before his disallowed goal against Brighton, and Ten Hag is encouraged by their rapport on the pitch. "Yes, absolutely," Ten Hag said when asked if he was speaking to Rashford about his understanding with Højlund, and how can the two benefit from each other. "But they have to know each other, and that process just started, but at the same time, we need results. So it has to go hand in hand. We learn from every training and we learn from every game and we reflect. Of course, we need that as a coaching staff, but also we have seen Rasmus and Rashi together, they are talking, how they can benefit from each other. You can see that discussion and that interaction on the pitch is going on, and that is a good sign. I am sure they will get that connection. I think that connection is already there, and they will get the routines there." The disciplined Jadon Sancho and absent Antony are among 12 players unavailable to Ten Hag for the Champions League group stage opener against Bayern Munich, where United have never won in 5 visits. Ten Hag's Ajax were the last team to prevent Bayern from winning at home in the group stage in 2018, but United have travelled to Germany with a depleted 21-man squad consisting of 4 goalkeepers and 4 players who have never played for the club. At his pre-match press conference that started 26 minutes late, Ten Hag was asked if a reset was required. "No, we don't feel we need a reset, absolutely not. We are in a process, and what you see is, in parts of games we play very good, but also in parts of games we play below our levels. What we have to demand is be consistent, so we have to step up in certain levels all the time for 90+ minutes, and that is the demand on us." Furthermore, Erik Ten Hag backs Rasmus Højlund over Harry Kane ahead of Bayern versus Manchester United. Erik Ten Hag insists he has no regrets about not pursuing Harry Kane this summer, despite seeing the striker score 4 goals in his first 4 Bundesliga games for Bayern Munich. Ten Hag was keen for Manchester United to move for Kane at the start of the window, but the club were reluctant to try and deal with Daniel Levy and opted to move for 20-year-old Rasmus Højlund instead. United paid Atalanta £72 million for the Dane, who has just 1 season in Europe's top 5 leagues on his CV, while Bayern spent £86 million on 30-year-old Kane and have seen him hit the ground running in the Bundesliga. Højlund was injured when he arrived at Old Trafford and has played only twice for the club, a bright cameo off the bench at Arsenal in just over an hour from the start against Brighton last weekend, but he is yet to open his goal-scoring account. Asked if he had regrets about not signing Kane, Ten Hag said, "Number. We are happy with Rasmus, first game, he was injured. He played against Arsenal, he's had a start, now we have to integrate him in the team. You can see he's a big talent." Højlund will lead the line for an injury-hit United in the Allianz Arena on Wednesday, in what will be his first game in the group stages of the Champions League. He is likely to have little service against a free-scoring Bayern, unlike Kane, who will expect to add to his tally for his new club. Bayern have scored 11 in their last 4 games, and Ten Hag knows his players will have to stay switched on tomorrow night. They have very attractive players, very skillful. You can't be unfocused for 1 second, 1 split second, because there is so much individual class that they have, he said. But they also leave you sometimes space, but we are very respectful of Bayern, especially in the Champions League, especially at the group stage at home they are very strong. But we are looking forward because we like the challenge and we trust ourselves. In a new development, Manchester United goalkeeper Andre Onana explains row with Harry Maguire. Andre Onana insists he has a good relationship with Harry Maguire despite calling out the Manchester United centre-back during a pre-season friendly in the summer. Onana marked his arrival at United by tearing into Maguire during the defeat to Borussia Dortmund in Las Vegas, and the incident has been back in the spotlight this week, with Jamie Carragher accusing the goalkeeper of going over the top with his reaction and doing it to endear himself to the club's fans. The Cameroon international raced out of his goal to berate Maguire after he had turned into trouble during the game. But it wasn't an isolated incident, and Onana has already shown he has high demands of his teammates on the pitch. The 27-year-old said his relationship with Maguire was good and that the pair had buried the hatchet straight after the game, despite pundits still bringing it up now. He also revealed he had spoken to Maguire before United set off for Munich without the centre-back, who picked up an injury in training. "Harry's a very good guy. I have a good relationship with him. I spoke to him this morning before we took off," said Onana. "What happened there was done straight after the game. I don't think we have to give too much to what happened. We are big guys and what happened on the pitch stays on the pitch. We have a good relationship." Onana believes that passion is part of his game and that everyone at the club has a responsibility that comes with playing for United, with the spotlight amplified for the goalkeeper by replacing David De Gea this summer. "I'm a very passionate player. I demand a lot of my defenders. We are in this together. Being part of a big club is something great," he said. "Manchester United is huge. I'm happy to be here. Replacing David isn't something easy. The start of the season is not what we want. It will come. I'm very confident. We all have to step up. We didn't start well, but I'm confident we'll get it right. When I see how we're working, I'm confident and excited." Onana came out of international retirement to play for Cameroon during the international break, and if he accepts a call-up for the Africa Cup of Nations, he could miss 7 games in January and February, but he refused to confirm whether he would play in that competition. "If I'm called up, we don't know if I will. Let's see what is going to happen in the next month," he said. "We are here to play against Bayern. It's an important game for us and the most important thing." In a similar vein, Rio Ferdinand questions Jadon Sancho over Manchester United fallout. Rio Ferdinand believes Jadon Sancho should have acted differently in the days after his public disagreement with Erik Ten Hag. Sancho has been exiled from training after refusing to apologize to Ten Hag over his statement, in which he claimed he was scapegoated after his boss omitted him from the squad against Arsenal due to training levels. In the days afterwards, Sancho was photographed alongside Aaron Wan-Bissaka at the birthday party of NBA star John Wall. Ferdinand said this was not the right move and only cast more cloud over his situation. Speaking on YouTube show 5, he said, "I don't understand why Jadon would allow that picture to go anywhere. Or put himself in a position. You just don't go out. Why are you putting petrol on the fire? The fire is blazing right now, and if you were to pick a picture to really antagonize and set that even more alight, that's one of the first. I'm saying don't even get on that flight. Don't even get out of the country. Get on the training pitch, get your studs in the grass." He later added, "Jadon is a shy guy. For him to come out the way he did on the offensive says to me there's something else going on here, that he felt he had the trust of the manager and that trust has been broken." Ferdinand suggested Ten Hag's post-match press conference comments against Arsenal were intentional, mooting that he was trying a different approach with the player to see how he would react. He's exhausted every avenue to try and get the best out of Jadon Sancho, added Ferdinand. I think Jadon would agree he hasn't lived up to the hype yet and the fee. And the manager has gone. This is my last chance. I can't get anything out of him with everything else I've done, so I'm going to make it public, and see if that public embarrassment gets him pressed enough where he goes, you know what? I'm not having this. I'm going to come back with a performance. I think the manager going public with Jadon was a big call. Did he understand the risk with that? Similarly, Alan Shearer makes Jadon Sancho point after spat with Manchester United manager Erik Ten Hag. Alan Shearer reckons Erik Ten Hag must have got to the end of his tether with Jadon Sancho to go so public with his comments that sparked the fallout between manager and player. Ten Hag dropped Sancho from the matchday squad against Arsenal for what the manager said were unacceptable levels in training. The Manchester United man hit back with a strongly worded, and now deleted, post on social media and is currently training away from the main group at Carrington after discussions with Ten Hag in the aftermath. There remains a huge question mark over the £72.9 million man's future at the club. On the pitch, Sancho has been unable to replicate the eye-catching form and statistics he cooked up during 4 hugely successful seasons with Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga. So what does TV pundit and former Premier League striker, Shearer, think might have gone on behind the scenes? He told the Rest is Football podcast. The only thing I would say is, and we have said it before, for him to come out and publicly say that about Jadon Sancho. He must have been on his final call, and his final chance. I don't know what's gone on, but you always hear different rumors about players being late, not turning up for training and missing a team bus. That in itself is unacceptable. How many times has it happened? We're not sure, but for him to come out and publicly say about Jadon Sancho, there must have been several things that have gone on in the dressing room. In non-football news, Manchester United negotiator Matt Hargreaves trying to change club's transfer culture. Manchester United transfer negotiator Matt Hargreaves is attempting to change the club's reputation in the transfer market amid ongoing issues with their outlays. Hargreaves, appointed transfer negotiator in June, is understood to have told Confidence he is trying to establish a new strategy after years of overpaying. United invested £192.1 million in signings during the summer transfer window, a drop of around £30 million from their record window last year. The club negotiated an upfront fee of £55 million for Mason Mount, £43.8 million for Andre Onana and £62 million for Rasmus Højlund. United completed their 3 key additions before the season started. Hargreaves is railing against the United tax that clubs have imposed, and the former Adidas marketing director has lamented the extra zero club's attempt to add to a player's valuation when United are interested in signing them. Despite his inexperience at club level, Hargreaves is highly regarded in the industry and excelled at recruiting star clients for Adidas. Agency sources said Hargreaves was heavily involved during United's summer negotiations, while club staff heralded the planning and execution by football director John Murtough. United were pleased with their window activity as they believe they avoided any drama, although 4 of their 7 signings joined on deadline day. In a heartwarming news and in a show of support for Erik Ten Hag, Manchester United chief Richard Arnold takes sacking stance on Erik Ten Hag amid struggles. Manchester United chief executive Richard Arnold spoke to club staff at an extraordinary meeting on Monday, where the club's confidence in Erik Ten Hag was made clear. It is reported that Arnold took anonymous questions over a Zoom call, with a tough line of questioning delivered his way during what was described as a no-holds-barred meeting where the club's handling of the recent situations around Mason Greenwood and Antony was raised. While those extremely serious matters did take up much of the line of questioning, the club's on-pitch performance and summer recruitment was also addressed following 3 defeats in 5 Premier League matches which have left United in the bottom half of the table. Arnold is said to have reiterated United's total belief in Ten Hag, who arrived at the club last summer and won the Carabao Cup and qualified for the Champions League in his first season at the helm. Ten Hag admitted that he was feeling the pressure of the United job following the 3-1 defeat to Brighton and Hove Albion at Old Trafford on Saturday, a first home defeat of the campaign which came after United lost both of their away games so far this season at Tottenham and Arsenal. The pressure is always there. It was last year and this year is no different, Ten Hag said after the Brighton loss. United flew to Germany on Tuesday ahead of their opening Champions League game of the season at Bayern Munich, with Ten Hag admitting that his side face a tough task against the German champions. On a final note, this is the real reason West Ham deal for McTominay collapsed. West Ham pulled out of a summer deal for Manchester United's Scott McTominay after balking at the Red Devils' demands. The Hammers held extensive talks with United and the 26-year-old about a potential summer switch but couldn't get a deal over the line. McTominay was also the subject of interest from Fulham, who could have lost defensive midfielder João Palhinha on transfer deadline day. Despite being priced out of a move in the summer, the Scotland international is down the pecking order at Old Trafford and could be sold in the January window. This news comes amid fresh links with Bayern Munich, who failed with a deadline day move for Palhinha. The German giants are reportedly set to turn attention to the Manchester United star after the Fulham midfielder signed a new long-term deal at Craven Cottage. McTominay has played 92 minutes of football across just 3 appearances in the 2023-24 campaign. He made 39 appearances across all competitions in the 2022-23 campaign, but managed only 16 starts in those outings. The Scotland international has amassed 147 Premier League appearances since coming through the ranks at Old Trafford. McTominay has starred on the international stage, however, scoring 6 goals in 40 caps for his country. He has managed 6 goals in Euro 2024 qualifying, with Scotland now looking set to qualify for next year's tournament. Fans, do you think Manchester United will win, draw or lose in today's game versus Bayern Munich? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Till next time.